With the most recent chapter of Dragon Ball Super ending with Goku approaching Gohan after sending his key spike all the way from Beerus' planet, I think we all know what's coming, or at the very least, our best guess of what's coming. Goku versus Gohan. As Dragon Ball Super has a fight in every single chapter, and knowing Goku, a fight against a strong opponent is like that magic white powder to him, I think this fight is coming in chapter 102. With that said, I want to make a video to talk about both Goku and Gohan and how I believe these two titans stack up against one another currently in terms of raw power and how this fight would go. True Ultra Instinct versus Beast. I said earlier, I'm sure that this fight has a good chance of happening due to Goku's addiction to strong opponents and this unspoken rule that 99.9% of Dragon Ball Super chapters have, which is to have a fight in it no matter what. But something else Dragon Ball Super chapters sometimes do is have an interesting fan service matchup, such as the Vegeta vs Beerus fights before a new arc truly begins. Although a new arc hasn't been announced yet, I think it's safe to assume that we're entering a new one real soon. So it'd be perfect timing for this fight to come around, and I do believe that this fight will be closer than we think. So within the Dragon Ball community, I believe that the general consensus is that currently, Gohan after awakening his beast form against Cell Max is more than likely the strongest hero that we currently have for a good amount of strong reasons. I'll go over a couple of them. The first reason I wanted to address is the Oracle Fish's statements about the new strongest in the universe being born soon, and this still being a mystery to this day. Despite Black Frieza's arrival into the story, with Whis refusing to confirm whether or not it was Frieza and Gohan's exact placement on the power scale being unknown, most will assume that Gohan is the one that the Oracle Fish spoke of, and reasonably so, because who else could it have been at the time? It's definitely not sorry ass Vegeta. I don't think Broly is stronger than, or even relatively close to TY Goku in my honest opinion, and as for Goku himself, it's a possibility because, well, it's Goku. And for the final candidate, Frieza. I believe that surface level, Frieza is the obvious candidate. Crushing Goku and Vegeta simultaneously with no difficulty, the statements about the supposed strongest shifting the entire balance of the universe, which is something that only Frieza would really be interested in. Whereas Gohan would likely be the least interested out of honestly any character in the series when it comes to shifting the balance of the universe. There's also Frieza's entry on Dragon Ball Official that states that, thus this story that began with the emergence of the strongest warrior in the universe, referring to Granola in the Granola arc, ended with the real strongest warrior in the universe, Frieza, emerging victorious. However, Whis refused to confirm whether or not it was Frieza, which makes designating Frieza as the candidate to be shaky, and you can take this statement as only referring to the end of the Granola arc. There's also the infamous strongest battle in history between Gohan and Cell Max statement that comes from Superhero's promotional material. In conclusion, with so much evidence for both Gohan and Frieza, you can conclude that either one is the strongest, but I think that Frieza is far above the rest, and from my perspective, it wouldn't really make sense for the story for Gohan to be equals with Frieza if it intends to bring any kind of tension to the forefront. Knowing Dragon Ball though, it'll probably end up being 7-3 or Oob like 50 chapters later. There's also the fact that Piccolo has stated that the Gammas are equal to both Goku and Vegeta, when Gohan and Piccolo can one-shot both of the Gammas at this point. But I'm sure that this was in reference to the Moro Saga Saiyan duo when they were last seen by Piccolo. Goku and Vegeta have surely gotten much stronger since the Granola Saga, let alone the Moro Saga. Also with Broly being at Beerus' home planet, I'm going to assume that they're more than confident that they're able to take down Broly handily in the case that he rages out. And speaking of Broly raging out, this could also be why Goku came to grab Gohan, and maybe we get Gohan sparring with Broly next chapter instead. I certainly wouldn't complain, but let's stick to the topic at hand. Lastly, we need to be straight up here. Everybody knows that the newest transformation in Dragon Ball will always be the strongest. I know it's a childish piece of evidence to use, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If we speak about Gohan directly, rather than a bunch of the narrative evidence that suggests that he's the strongest, Beast obviously doesn't have much. It's brand new. The most we can say that he's way stronger than Cell Max, who's considerably stronger than Orange Piccolo, who's way stronger than the Gammas that we consider to be around Moro Arc Goku and Vegeta level. I do think this automatically puts him on par with Goku and Vegeta, as Toriyama himself even confirms this in a statement. Moving on to Goku, I want to say that I straight up believe that if Goku and Gohan decide to spar next chapter, Goku has a better chance than most would believe. Goku tends to jump up in power by some pretty big margins in between arcs, such as from the Moro arc to the Granola arc, he went from only being able to access Ultra Instinct only in his sign and white-haired states, but at the beginning of the Granola arc, he was using Ultra Instinct in his base. But when it comes to this arc specifically, this is the biggest gap we've seen in Dragon Ball Super as a whole, with Superhero being a couple years ahead of the Granola arc. I believe that it's safe to assume that Goku at this point has brought his true Ultra Instinct from just a sign state to white-haired mastered Ultra Instinct by now, and even if he hasn't done this, he should just be way stronger. Goku seems to be powerful enough to where Beerus even states to Goku in the most recent chapter, there's always going to be someone or something stronger than you, so keep plugging away with that training, and once you're stronger than me, I'll nominate you as the next God of Destruction. This being a far cry from the Beerus we've seen before the time skip, one who would always deny that the Saiyans were even close to him, but here, even he now accepts that Goku surpassing him is a very real possibility, and judging from the language here, he even expects it. So as of now, I'm led to believe that Goku has made significant progress. I guess we could also say the same about Vegeta and Broly. Something else about the most recent chapter that makes me believe that Goku may be closer to Gohan is that Vegeta says, according to Bulma, Gohan may have surpassed even us in this particular battle. This statement can go either way, but I believe that it's unreliable since it doesn't come from a user of God Ki. Also, it's hard to determine what exactly Bulma's basing this off of, because if she's talking about the last time she's seen the Saiyans, yet saying Gohan may have surpassed them, then I'm not gonna lie, it's looking real rough for Gohan here. However, I still don't think it's reliable in case someone does attempt to bring this up in the comments. Goku in comparison to Gohan still has access to multiple techniques and hacks such as the instant transmission, manifestation of his spirit avatar, and Ultra Instinct, which just makes him overall a better fighter with more options. I would normally write these off and say that these wouldn't make much of a difference, but the Granola arc has made it a point a couple of times now that these extra techniques can make all of the difference in battles nowadays. So I believe that they are worth considering. With everything said, what's my conclusion on how Gohan and Goku stack against one another? I honestly believe that at their peaks, Goku is still stronger. A couple years for Goku is no joke, and I think that he's just far above what we last saw from him at this point. But for the sake of this video, and not basing this fight on pure hypotheticals rather than the hard facts, I'll play fair and say that they should be on par, such as Toriyama has stated. However, if they fight, it'll be another story. As Goku has access to all the tricks and hacks that he does, it's important to note that they do give him a significant advantage against those who are even stronger than him, as we saw in the Granola arc. And also in his TUI state, he's able to fight way more aggressively, meanwhile maintaining the auto dodge. And Gohan, unlike Gas or Granola, doesn't seem to have any comparable hacks, telekinesis, or really any extra abilities that can help him fight against Goku. As powerful as Gohan is now, I just don't think he has the battle experience and the training that Goku has. And again, the Granola arc has made it a point that, once again and finally in Dragon Ball, things like this do matter when fighting against Goku. And I think that's important to consider in these matchups now. With that being said, let me know what you guys think when it comes to this matchup, because honestly, it's all up in the air until next month, the bare minimum.